Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Tasmanian Hockey Centre for this preliminary final Premier League hockey clash. But first up we have the men's preliminary final, which is Derwent versus Canterbury. Derwent, of course, coming off a loss last week to OHA, but had the second chance after finishing top. And Canterbury playing a good game against Northwest Grads and coming up trumps there, so earning the right to play off for to meet OHA in the grand final next week. With me in the commentary box this morning is hero from last week, Sam McCambridge. Sam, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let's have a look at the teams this afternoon. So for Derwent, we have a couple of injury clouds. Sorry, for Canterbury this afternoon, we have Ian McHugh coming in under an injury cloud, so it'll be interesting to see if he plays at all. We also have Alexander Hogan-Jones, who did a fitness test in the reserves this morning.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they get on the park. Hogan-Jones played quite well this morning, so I put my money on him being out there.
Who's to watch out for here on this Canterbury lineup, Sam?
You can't go too far past Sam McCulloch, captain of Canterbury. He's a very dangerous player when he has the ball, and I think they'll be looking to him quite a lot.
Of course, Sam McCulloch will be the drag flicker for any sort of penalty corner attacks, so expect to see him play a part in this game, especially if Canterbury are going to be in with a chance here this afternoon. Now we'll look to Derwent's side. Derwent, I believe, unchanged at this stage coming into this game. They'll be disappointed with their loss last week to OHA. And possibly some slight nerves within the group after going out in straight sets last year in 2020. So this year they'll be pretty keen to get on the board early and really enforce themselves on this game. Who's to watch out for in this one?
I'd be looking to Angus Bolton up forward. He had a couple of chances last week, but I'm not sure they used him enough. But of course you've got veteran Paul Anker up there as well, who nailed 2 goals last week, so I reckon he'll be sniffing around the goal circle as well.
Yes, and Angus Bolton, of course, equal top goal scorer this year for the competition, so certainly one to watch out for, again, on the penalty corner attack. It's good to see a large Canterbury contingency in the crowd today. The weather a little bit off, so be interested to see if the crowd stays outside or not. Canterbury surprised me last week, Sam. They looked very composed. A team that hasn't played a huge amount of finals in the last few years. They looked very composed. So I'll be interested to see how they come out today and if they play full of confidence like they did last week. Canterbury are going to get us underway here in this 2021 preliminary final versus Derwent. Good intent straight away from Canterbury. McCulloch auto-playing. He's going to be a name we call quite a lot today. Oakford recycling around the back. Kiddo now playing in Lane's shirt. Of course, not Lane, but good to see A-Lane out on the park today. Bolton finding himself deep doing the work. There's Anker. He scored 2 early goals last week in the first 5 minutes. And as we can see straight away, they're really keen to attack it quickly and use their pace. See Grundy and Clifford up front, very quick, and will try and put this Canterbury defence under a lot of pressure.
Has started off a very high tempo as well, and I think at least for the first 5 to 10 minutes it will just be a bit of end-to-end hockey until they compose themselves a bit more and build up the play.
Donovan now, he played a big role last week, putting a lot of pressure on the Northwest Grads defence. He always runs hard, but that's just a little bit too far out in front of him. Anker finding himself some space, the wily old veteran. There is Anks. Anker, it looks like he's playing maybe in the midfield a little bit more. Is that a surprise early, or I think he's just getting up the park a little bit, testing himself out?
Yeah, I think they've just tried something different. Start off him in the midfield, see if they can work it up, and then they'll probably get him in the forward line at some stage. He's sort of moved there now, so looks like it'll be a bit of rotation through the midfield and up to the striker line throughout the game.
Bowen now playing in the midfield mostly this year, very composed. A little bit under his goal-scoring best this year. Only 3 goals during the normal season, so he'll be looking to make a bit of a name for himself in finals and putting some good pressure on the Canterbury defence there. Mardell now. Good tackle from Canterbury, forcing the turnover. There's no one up front, so they're going to have to look to recycle this, slow it down, earn the free. Quite a few turnovers for both teams early. That's nerves playing.
Well, another one right there. There's Mardell, their go-to.
Donovan. Oh, just looking a little bit uncomfortable this morning. Donovan just giving that one away. Broadby over the ball now. Bolton just giving a little bit too much space to get into the circle, holding on the back line. Oh, it's nearly rolled through the keeper's pads, but Canterbury are able to get out of trouble here. As Donovan is going to look for a free, dumps it out up the line. Bolton just given a little bit too much space there, I think, Sam, and he's not someone you want to give space to, especially early in the game.
No, especially on his tomahawk. He's very, very quick to get a shot away. But I think the hassle from the Canterbury defence there just put him off slightly, and it was a good save in the end by Max Larkin in goals there.
That is the defender's ball there with the overhead, having to get 5 metres space to receive that and take it under control. And the benefit of the doubt always goes to the defender in that situation.
Yeah, it's always tough to call that one, but umpire Hickman there, right on the money with that call.
Yeah, penalty corner there. It looked like a fair bit of body tackle in that, Sam. What do you think?
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a tough call there, but umpire Kitchener there has ruled that there was too much body in the tackle on McCulloch there. Yeah, Mardell didn't really go for the ball as such and got his body in the way, so that's probably a fair decision in the end.
Yeah, it just looked a little bit too lazy, and when someone's running with pace like that, you just can't afford to do it. So I think a fair penalty corner, and it's going to be Canterbury with the first look at a penalty corner attack. What's your tip on the penalty corner here?
I reckon it'll be that man McCulloch will get the first shot away, and then Canterbury will be able to see how Derwent are running out and then potentially change it up for the next one.
Here is that man McCulloch flicking, and it's just wide. Probably feel like he's wasted an opportunity there. It's good to make the keeper do something and make a save early, but that one seemed like it was wide by a fair margin. So it is Canterbury, however, with the first points on the board for the game with a penalty corner, but nothing from it. There is McCulloch just missing the trap. Kiddo in behind him though, mopping up. McCulloch prominent early, which will be very good for Canterbury. Now, we haven't seen McHugh at all yet this game, Sam. He was coming in under an injury cloud, so it'll be interesting to see if we do see him in the first quarter at all.
Yeah, I did actually speak to him this morning after his reserves game, and he was actually in goalie gear, being a second keeper,
right,
which was quite surprising. And I did ask him if he was going to take the field for this game, and he said he's hopeful. So I think he'll definitely be out there at some stage.
It's an interesting fitness test. If you can run around in the goalie gear, you can run around without the goalie gear, perhaps is the theory. Curtis on now. It's his first touch of the game. Big, tall midfielder for Derwent. Just a little bit of physicality there, but both teams won't mind that. Just good to pronounce yourself on the game early. Kiddo over it, back to Donovan. Donovan seems to be playing a few different roles in the last few weeks. He gets himself up front, but also back down in the back line. So it'll be interesting to see where he plays the majority today. He did a very good job against Northwest last week, putting the defence under a lot of pressure. He just seems to make players nervous with the intensity that he plays with.
Yeah, very versatile player, but also one of those sort of annoying players. But he does his job well, so
he doesn't mind getting in the face of the opposition. Certain times it's a good ball down the line to Bolton. Yeah, look, had a bit of a flip there, but I think it was an accident there from Oakford. But Oakford won't mind that. Just getting some physicality on one of the best strikers out there is important to do, I think. And you'd probably know well, Sam, just defenders like to put a little bit of body on the strikers early in the game.
Oh, definitely, and it can put you off your game, but these days you sort of go out there and expect it's going to happen, so you've just got to wear it early and move on to the next play.
game's just settled into a fairly even tempo now. Both teams just playing it around a little bit. There's that ball from Mardell played into the circle, but no deflections home at all, so it will be a Canterbury restart.
And Canterbury will want to watch those balls because Derwent do like to throw them in like that, just to test the defence and look for that little deflection here and there, so they'll have to be on their game for those.
Yeah, certainly one of Derwent's strength is sort of their pack hunting forwards. They just always seem to be at the scraps always. You cannot rest a second against this Derwent forward line. Be very switched on.
No, that's right, and that's why they finished 14 points clear on top. It's a very, very good side.
Bowen putting the defender under some pressure for Canterbury, trying to get the turnover. Can't quite do it cleanly though, but that's the aggression we see from Bowen. Always after the ball, always scrapping, putting teams under the pump. Donovan, ball to Harmon on the far side. They'll look to recycle now, Canterbury. So I dare say that Derwent forward line pressure possibly was the reason that your team OHA went down 2-0 last week. Just have to be very switched on against a strong Derwent side.
Yeah, it can happen very quickly, and all you have to do is just be half a step off your direct opponent in that circle, and before you know it, you're 2 goals down. So Canterbury have held off pretty well so far.
Yes, I think Canterbury are very happy with the opening 5 minutes here, but that's a big turnover in the middle of the ground. Now we know Derwent like to counter-attack. Anchor on the far side, first time touch to Curtis. What's he got in front of him? He's going to look up. Canterbury will be happy with that, just slowing down that Derwent counter-attack. But what a great example of what Derwent try and do. Pick you off in the middle and then just counter with pace and power.
Yep, they set Mardell up in the middle there. He reads those balls very well. And then, as you said, they just look to go straight forward as quick as they can. But it was well mopped up back there by the Canterbury defence.
It's a big stick tackle there, but nothing doing, says the umpire. A lot of physicality here. It'll be interesting to see what's happening. The goal stopped. Looks like there's some fair bit of action on the field at the moment. It looks like there was a card at some stage as well. Just going to have to see what happened here and who ends up heading to the bench. But Canterbury auto played very quickly and very aggressively, so there's a bit of a tangle there. And I'm not sure if it was looks like it is a Bowen green card, I believe. And then on the backswing there, Harry Winch just copping one to the face. So just shows how high intensity this game is at the moment, Sam. That was hard to follow.
Oh, it happened so quickly, and it was the right call by umpire Kitchener there. Vaughan Bowen with the direct stopping tackle intentionally was just to stop the play. They're trying to get the ball well played on quickly. And then, yeah, Harry was just there to mop up and unfortunately just copped a stick to the head and he's gone off to get cleaned up.
Brave, though, from Winch. Probably stopped a Canterbury shot on goal. So it's the sort of stuff that you need from your players early in finals, the commitment. So well done to Harry Winch there. And Canterbury probably a little bit upset. They maybe should have done a better job there. So an interesting start to this final. Donovan always physical. Game started very physical from both sides. So it'll be interesting to see whether that continues to ramp up here and give the umpires a bit of a job to do, or if it'll ease back off once this energy from this first quarter is sort of dissipated a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it'll be very important for the umpires just to keep on top of that. They don't want it to get out of control at all. And I think the closer it is throughout the game, the more tense it's going to be. So hopefully they'll keep it under control.
Canterbury showing composure here as they try and work it out. Well done with Oakford earning the free there. And Canterbury will go again as they get their structure here for outletting. Sam, you must be licking your lips watching these two teams go very hard, knowing that you and the OHA team have the week off and can be fresh next week.
Yeah, I don't mind them running the ball as much as they are. If they can keep it up, that would be fantastic. As we see another card there to Canterbury this time.
Yeah, it just looked like just a bit of a clumsy, lazy tackle with a stick there, and I think that's a good message from both umpires today. They're just not going to take any silly business, cut it out straight away. Green card, 2 minutes. It's nothing huge, but just a message to both teams, so I don't mind that from the umpires. The veteran Webb with the ball now. Mardell, we've called his name a lot early.
Vickery and Harmon there, just getting in a bit of a tangle there. Well defended though. Long corner now for Derwent.
Canterbury so far have done a really good job of slowing down Derwent's attacks. They haven't been able to run and carry the ball into the circle at any stage really today, so interesting. Howie now on the near side. There's a turnover for Canterbury. They'll be looking for the free. McCulloch with a little bit of space. They've looked confident, Canterbury. Looked very confident early carrying the ball.
Yeah, they're just working around nicely here, making the Derwent forwards chase the ball around, which is what they want, and just waiting for that right pass, which unfortunately was not that one over the sideline.
So as we head towards this this quarter time break, Sam, what do you think will be the message from both coaches, and who do you think is on top so far in this game?
I'd say it's going to be a midfield battle. Both coaches will just let their midfielders know that the ball's going to be in there a lot this game. Hasn't been too many shots. I think we've only seen one at each end so far. But it can take just 1 or 2 goals for the game just to open up completely. So I reckon they'll just be told to just calm down, look after the ball when we've got it. There's no need to rush forward.
That's a nice first time touch here as Derwent into the circle. Oh, and there it is, the first goal of the game. That's why Derwent can be so dangerous. It was Anchor on the back stick, flicking it to the top of to the D, to the spot, and then the finish there. And I'm not quite sure who the finish was from. Looks like it was Lyndon McCarthy who put away the goal. Watching a replay here, just Derwent, this is why you can't give them an inch in the circle, just very tidy. There's Anchor across, and the diving finish there from Derwent. Well, that is going to change things up. Canterbury would have gone into quarter time feeling very happy with 0-0, but all of a sudden they find themselves behind. And Sam, I think that's why we say Derwent is so dangerous.
Yeah, and it's those last couple of minutes before any break in the whole game that are the most dangerous. You just got to make sure you're always switched on, especially in those last couple of minutes. And Paul Anchor there with a little bit of a miss hit across, but it worked out fine because unmarked McCarthy was there just to tap it in.
Was also Anchor with that first time touch to get it down into the corner as well. So just showing some of his experience at this finals level, and you can't go past that sort of finals experience. So 2 goals early last week, and then this week some key touches early, and here he is again on the far side with some pace. Canterbury that time up to the task. Harmon now under a little bit of pressure. Manages to do well, maintains the ball. They're going to reset here. Just getting hassled. Managed to keep possession, but that's what this Derwent team do very well. Just hassle the ball carrier, force them into a mistake. What I have liked about Canterbury today, Sam, is they've been happy to sort of recharge, go around the back, reset. Not so there, though. An unfortunate turnover. That man Mardell providing, but it's back in Canterbury hands now.
Yeah, they've been fairly composed so far, and there's no reason to panic just yet.
McCulloch just trying to get the ball into the circle early to see if he can find a foot, but it's going to be a long corner.
30 seconds left before the break, so they'll be looking to get it in there as quick as they can.
Did that go 5 before it went in? No. The wind blowing here. It's starting to get very dark and grey outside, and that will be it. That is quarter time here in the men's preliminary Premier League hockey final between Derwent and Canterbury. Derwent are ahead 1-0, and what a hot start to that game. Canterbury seemed like they were well in the game, started very strongly, but it was Derwent with the late goal through McCarthy. What did you think of that quarter, Sam?
Yeah, as expected, it came out at pretty high tempo for both sides. Both teams were composed over the ball. They both had a couple of chances each as well, but Derwent just took that one just before the break, which will hurt Canterbury, but they're still completely in the game, so there's no reason to panic just yet.
So how do you think Canterbury are going to come out in this second term? What's the instructions there been from the coach?
I reckon it'll be just make sure they're marked up tight in the circle. Just watching the replay of the goal there, they had two people as well as the goal scorer unmarked, so they'll have to tighten that up.
Hot start from Derwent again. Bolted on the ball. Harmon just gave him an inch there and he took it. But Harmon with the last laugh, turning it over. McCulloch, we called his name a fair bit in the first quarter. He's getting involved, so he can be dangerous, as we know. Bowen quick to autoplay, but nowhere to go. Comes back, reshuffling. Mardell with a lot of interceptions in that first quarter. And often those interceptions that he's getting, as you were saying, Sam, really lead to the start of the Derwent attack. So Canterbury will want to make sure they're not needlessly turning it over to him, because it's just giving the Derwent a counter-attack opportunity.
Yeah, he reads the play very well back there. So you've just got to make sure that if you are going to look for those passes, that if it does get turned over, then you've got enough people back to cover, as Derwent do like to go forward very quickly.
Derwent pressing Canterbury well here, not giving too many options out. There is Ian McHugh starting the game. He's coming in under an injury cloud, but there he is out there, so that's good signs for Canterbury. He's been one of their best players over quite a few years now, so they'll get a lot of confidence for him being back out on the park, especially after him missing last week. Turnover in the middle though for Canterbury. There is the goal scorer, McCarthy, but he can't keep it in. There's that player, McHugh. Got Oakford up the line if he needs him. No, we're going to go back across to McHugh. How are Canterbury trying to outlet this ball, Sam? What's their structure they're using here?
Looks like they've only got two at the back at the moment, which is quite unusual. They're trying to push, I think, their halfbacks up the line higher, just a bit of overlapping, but they are looking to go into the midfield and straight back out, move the Derwent attack around, and just waiting for that precise pass, and they're doing that quite well at the moment.
Yeah, I think they certainly haven't been afraid to use the midfield at all today, which I think is a positive. I don't think you can expect to sort of win too many games of hockey if you're not trying to use your midfield, but that man Mardell finds himself with another interception. Donovan on his heels. Trying to find an option now is Mardell. The rain really coming down now in this preliminary final. Hasn't got to the stage yet where it's going to affect slow the game down too much, but keep an eye on it.
Yeah, there's a bit of blue sky coming in the distance, but whether or not that makes it this far, we'll see.
Curtis now recycling.
Could see Harry Winch back out there after he's been taped up from that earlier incident.
A little bit of body there. Doesn't look like too much in it for the umpires. Ooh, it's an interesting goal. Curtis felt like he received a fair bit of body there, but not according to the umpire, and Canterbury come away with it. Talk to me about the role that Stuart Webb plays in this Derwent defence, Sam. He's sort of feels like he's a bit of a general back there, a calm general that plays around the back a fair bit.
Yeah, he is, and obviously over the years I've played on him, or he's played on me rather, quite a lot. He's always talking to his teammates around him, organising everyone before the ball's even there. And obviously he's a very good player in his own right, mops up really well, marks very tightly.
Donovan now trying to hit directly into the circle. Looks like that's gone into a foot of... Can't tell who it is out there. Looks like Mardell, yeah, playing that intercept role. So he's done his job, but I think he'd prefer if he did it with his stick next time. And that ball, as we can see, is just outside the 25, which means it can go directly into the circle. So watch out for some sort of drag flick type chaos ball for Canterbury here. And there we see it there. And it's come off the post, but luckily for Derwent, it's going to be Webb onto it first. And the rain really coming down now in the wind. This is one of those times, Sam, when you feel very happy that you've qualified straight into the grand final, or you haven't even made finals at all, because it is rank out there, for lack of a better word.
Yes, it is a winter sport, but we are into spring now, so you would hope we'd get a bit better weather, but these sort of prelim days and even grand final days have been known for being this type of weather, so you've just got to kind of get used to it if you can.
Yes, we've actually seen some stinkers over the last few years. We were talking last week, one of the semi-finals between Northwest and Derwent. They had to change grounds because it was so bad, the weather. This ground 1 got flooded, so we changed across to ground 2.
Yeah, I was actually umpiring that game, and it was very unusual circumstances to change pitches, but it was a lot safer option, and everyone agreed to change, so it worked out in the end.
Can't imagine it was bad playing, let alone having to umpire out there. It's been horrific.
Yeah, look, I love my umpiring, but in that type of weather, when you're soaked through to the bone, it tests your patience.
Rogers now restarting for Canterbury. Mardell with another interception. That's probably his 6th or 7th today. Bowen. Just a little bit lazy on it there, Bowen, and getting turned over, but he's fairly tenacious. He will try and get it back here. He's a hard-working, fit player. As we see another intercept there, turnover from Canterbury. They'll be really wanting to limit those. Canterbury just wanting to reset here. Knock it around. That's a good ball across to Oakford. He's got Harmon on the inside if he needs him. Chooses to go up the line. Canterbury auto playing from that position. Sam, I must admit it's getting a little bit challenging looking out the windows here of the commentary box. We're having to use our monitor to get our live feed because that's how heavy the rain is coming down.
Yeah, it's just coming in on that angle that it's just restricting our view.
That 90-degree Tasmanian rain angle that we're so used to. Not 5 there was Hoey, so it's a Canterbury ball. They've attacked well in the last few minutes. Can they get a result here for them? Rebben in the circle with a little bit of space. Oh, it's a stick. And it's a Canterbury goal. Well, the first save was good, but the Canterbury rebound is good, and it's 1-1 here. Rebben doing a great job in the circle to hold it. I'm not sure who finished it off in the end, but it's 1-1 in this preliminary final, and Canterbury looked like they were due to get a little bit of a benefit there from their attack, and they have done so and shocked this Derwent team.
Yeah, it may have been Lockie Rogers up there. We'll just have to double check on the replay, but persistence pays off.
Well, it was a good stick save initially from McCausland, but unfortunately the rebound went straight to...
It was Ben East.
Ben East, who finished it off well, so McCausland can consider himself a little bit unlucky. Bolton here into the circle now with pace and power. Oh, and it's just slid that past Max Larkin there, and it looks like there could be a card for an earlier infringement. Yes, it's going to be a green card for a body tackle earlier in the game, but wow, this game you just feel the heat rise in it, Sam, and all of a sudden it's 1-1 and Derwent are looking to attack again.
Yeah, and just like those last couple of minutes in each quarter, just after you've scored a goal, those first few minutes are very important as well, not to concede straight away.
Bit of pressure there in the circle from Derwent, but Canterbury up to the task. Grundy it was, showing some composure. They're going to recycle now. Winch, Mardell. Webb now loves to go direct with that big booming slap of his. Nothing at home though. Derwent will just want to get a little bit of control back in this match. They were under the pump there until eventually Canterbury wore them down and put it in the net. So just wanted to get some control, some possession back. Hoey. Looks like that might have been the back of his stick, but not called by the umpire, so it's going to be Derwent's ball in their attacking quarter.
And Canterbury will just have to soak up the next couple of minutes being a player down as well. Looks like Derwent's sent another person into the circle, have an extra striker, so Canterbury will just have to try and hold off here until Harmon's back on the field.
Clifford entering the circle now, but just gets out a little bit too far in front of him. And Canterbury, all it is now is just surviving until they can get that 11th player back on the field. The rain's just eased off a little bit for us here, so we can see again. It's a good ball out to Mardell with a lot of space now in front of him. He can pick out a ball. You know, there's a foot there in the circle. It looked like there might have been some body contact, but the umpire has said no. There's a foot of Clifford, so They're always so hard to umpire, those ones, Sam. I'm sure you've been involved in a few when the defender is putting body pressure on or he isn't, and very hard to tell how much is actually involved there.
Yeah, it's very hard to call from the umpires because they're obviously trying to watch the ball, and then something happens off the ball and it makes it very hard. But yeah, I think the right decision was called there.
Canterbury back to their full 11 now by the looks of it, so interesting to see what happens in the next few minutes here. Under 5 minutes until half time, so it'll be interesting to see what these teams' tactics are. I think that Derwent are just going to continue to push and push as they always do. I think Canterbury might just try and remain composed. Got 11 behind the ball right now.
Yeah, I think they'll be more than happy to go into the break 1-1. Hopefully they can just defend smartly for these next few minutes before the break and not concede in the last couple like they did in the first quarter.
Yeah, so I think if you can go in 1-1 with a team that was clear on top and clear premiership favourites before finals, then you'd be very happy if you're this Canterbury team. There is McHugh, not looking like he's hampered too much from that injury. McCarthy, the goal scorer from the first quarter, finds Bolton. Oof. And Derwent appealing for a short corner there. Obviously, if you're a defender and you deliberately put it over the back line, it can be called as a short corner, but the benefit of the doubt going to Canterbury there. I always found that quite a harsh rule, Sam. I don't have any control over where my tackles were going, let alone deliberately putting them anywhere. So,
yeah, that's right. And I've seen those ones called for less, so he was quite lucky there, I think. His only intention was to get it over the line, I think.
You've got too much faith in the skills of these defenders, Sam. They don't even know where the line is.
That's what they normally say anyway when I'm umpiring.
It's an overhead for Canterbury. Probably one of the first overheads we've seen today. I mean, a huge amount from either team.
No, they are missing Khan Riley back there, who is a very good defender and does outlet very well, especially with his overheads.
Khan Riley for Canterbury was close to best on ground last week, so they are missing him. But obviously McHugh back into the side today.
Yeah, and Khan obviously away due to the fact he's playing with his Burnie side in the GNL Grand Final up in Devonport.
So only a few minutes remaining in this first half of preliminary final action between Derwent and Canterbury. It's 1-1. Lyndon McCarthy providing Derwent's goal in the first quarter, and then Benjamin East getting a good rebound in the second quarter. So Canterbury will be happy how this game's going. They've managed to stay composed here, even with the wet weather, which looks like it's just clearing up a touch now. Derwent are going to continue to press heavily and aggressively as they always do.
They'll just build up their play slowly, I think, just to give themselves one or two more chances to score one before half time. But you can see here they're just being patient.
Yeah, I think, look, Derwent would have hoped to be up by more at half time coming into the game, but I think what's important is not panicking just because it's equal at half time, and having faith in your game plan that you can still get it done in the second half. So I don't think Derwent will be too concerned and too upset. They'll be just wanting to play the second half. We see a big tackle laid there in the middle, but whistle stays unblown at this stage. Webb using his experience. Broadby. Bit of a race on there. Curtis gets it first. Back to Broadby. Advantage is being played there for a big body tackle. And now this will be interesting to see the call. Umpires conversing, and there was a lot of body in that tackle on Curtis. And it'll be interesting to see what the card is for. It's a yellow card, and it's gone to McCulloch. So I couldn't see if that was 5 or 10 minutes, but that is one of Canterbury's best players. So this next little bit of time before the halftime siren goes is going to be tough here for Canterbury.
Yeah, that's going to hurt Canterbury, I think, whether it's 5 or 10 minutes. He's their playmaker. He's the player they look for, so they're going to have to rely on someone else for the next however long it is until he's back on. It was probably an unnecessarily rough tackle, considering the ball had already gone, so they won't be very happy with that.
No, Curtis, a big body himself for Derwent, can often encourage some big tackles as well, so I think he got the best of McCulloch at that stage. And just overheading into the corner. Just trying to buy some time here, try and get Canterbury to half-time with a 1-1 draw.
Only a couple of seconds left here, so Mardell's just walking it up, waiting for the clock to run down, and they'll go in 1-1 at half-time.
And there it is, there's the half-time buzzer. So it is 1-1 in this men's Premier League hockey quarter-final, sorry, not quarter-final, what am I talking about, Sam? Preliminary final. We don't even have quarter-finals in hockey. In this preliminary final, it's 1-1 between Canterbury and Derwent. Derwent's goal coming in the first quarter through Lyndon McCarthy, and then Canterbury equalising in the second quarter with Benjamin East. Sam, what's the message from both coaches here at half-time, and where do you see this game?
I think they'll just make sure that no one's panicking. It's 1-1. Almost back to 0-0, you could say. Canterbury are going to have to potentially change their tactics for the next 5 or 10 minutes with that Sam McCulloch yellow card. Both teams have had chances, so there's no need to panic at either end. Derwent will just look to hang on to the ball, bide their time, and strike when they need to.
Welcome back to the second half of this Premier League hockey preliminary final between Derwent and Canterbury. Locked 1-1 at half-time. Sam, who do you think, I'm Harry Vandal. Joining me in the commentary box is Sam McCambridge. Sam, who do you think needs to step up in this second half for both teams, and who do you think is going to have a big say in deciding this preliminary final?
I think if Vaughan Bond can get himself a bit more into the game, get a bit more ball, he's very hard to shut down when he's on. He's been a bit quiet so far. And for Canterbury, I'd probably say someone like, or even Ian McHugh, his first game back, he needs to get on the ball a bit more. He's a very mobile player for them. And when McCulloch gets back on, he'll have to make up for those minutes he's let his team down from being sent off.
Yes, he certainly will. I think going into the second half, it'll be Canterbury with a lot of confidence. The fact that they're only one half away, they've stayed with Derwent, who obviously finished on top here and would have gone in favourite. So they'll be taking a lot of pride into that as we see.
It's a goal scorer.
Benjamin East in the circle now. Can he find a foot? Oh, it's a bit of body there. No whistle from the umpire. I think that was well played. And of course there's sunshine now in this second half. It was raining before, we couldn't see out the commentary box window, and that is absolutely Tasmania for you, and Hobart. So both teams having to deal with less than ideal conditions, but right now the sun is out. And it's Derwent in possession. Winch throwing an overhead. Ooh, a bit of a missed trap there. Well recovered though. Good physicality being shown out there from both teams. Umpires haven't been afraid to award cards in this game so far, which I think is the right way to go. You see Harmon just putting that over the back line with an overhead.
Yeah, they're just looking to soak up a bit of this pressure that they'll be under while McCulloch's off. Only two up front.
Almost a cagey start to the second half, Sam. Both teams not wanting to to give too much away and just moving the ball around slowly, not wanting to overcommit. Have Winch here.
Derwent are just being patient with the way they're working the ball up the line. They've got an extra player, so they don't need to panic.
McCulloch still off after receiving a yellow card in the dying minutes of that second quarter, so Canterbury are of course down to 10 men. Sexton just trying to control the ball in the middle. Well, plays a good ball through but can't quite get it through, and Mardell has been called already many times today just with that interception, and he finds Broadbury in space. Anchor just can't reel that one into the circle. He'll be disappointed with that. He's known for his touch and silk in the circle, so he'll think that is a bit of a missed opportunity. Mardell with another interception. Looks the transfer. McCarthy with a little bit of space and overlap on the far side. Now goal scorer from the first quarter.
McCulloch back on the field, so it must have only been a 5-minute suspension for him, so he'll be looking to amends that.
And as you called, McHugh just finding his way into the game a little bit more with a, not quite a clean tackle there, but Canterbury will be happy to have him just getting in the right holes, intercepting those balls as he does so well. There he is again with that interception, but a little bit of foot.
Yeah, he won the best and fairest a couple of years ago now, and he's always been a rock-solid player for not only Canterbury but also the Tassie Tigers as well. So he'll be a player they'll be looking to a lot.
He's got that big glove of his. Everyone knows so well, recognises. McHugh to McCulloch. A little bit too much body there from Curtis. No whistle there from the umpire, so Canterbury come away with it. Loose ball across the circle. Again, umpire's happy to leave the whistle in their pocket at this stage. Curtis comes away with it. Finds Poposki. He's going to give it back to Curtis. Poposki running hard to get it back again. Wasted there a little bit, Curtis, though, unfortunately.
And that was McHugh again back there, mopping up.
Neither team seem to be playing with much fluency in this third term, Sam.
No, it's a bit frantic at the moment. Ever since McCulloch came back on, it's been very end-to-end, no real plan, just trying to run the ball forward. So they just need to calm that down a little bit.
Webb, a good man to have on the ball when you're trying to calm situations. He's going to look direct. McHugh, another interception, finding himself in the game in this third term.
He's a bit like Mardell for the Canterbury team, just finds those positions, read the play really well, and just likes to mop it up back there.
Redmond can't rule that in. It almost feels like both teams are waiting for the other to make a mistake rather than really grabbing the game by the horns. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues into this third term.
Again, another turnover. Both teams are turning the ball over nearly every time they're going forward at the moment.
But almost not in the frantic way we usually see sort of a Derwent team playing, but more almost lazy turnovers. There's not a lot of pace in the game at the moment. Yeah,
it's unusual for Derwent to waste an opportunity going forward, but yeah, just like that overhead, it just went straight over the sideline. So Coach Nathan Fitzpatrick won't be very happy with that, I don't think.
You can see him there with his arms crossed on the sideline. Oakford now for Canterbury up the right-hand side. Ooh, a little first touch there from Canterbury into the circle, but Donovan unable to get onto the end of it.
Yeah, forced McCausland to kick that out where potentially he could have just left that, and that would have been a 16 out, but just a bit of doubt in the keeper's mind there.
Bit of perceived pressure. Oakford again. Mardell, classy, just finding a foot, so it'll be Derwent's ball here. Winch looks like he's going to toss. Well intercepted though, there was Broadby at the back for Derwent. We see Winch just again throwing another overhead.
And Winch, brother of Mac McKenzie, who plays in our team, against him last week, so that would have been an interesting car ride home, I reckon.
Yes, it was good. Good to see younger brother getting up over the big brother. They may meet each other again next week. Of course, the winner of this game goes on to play OHA in the grand final next week.
Canterbury just panicking there a bit. Unforced error straight over the sideline. Derwent looking to capitalise here.
Looks like there's a foot that's being called there, and it's in the circle. It's what the umpire. There's a bit of debate whether it was in or outside. We can have a look at our replay. We can see it looked very close to me, but my gut feeling was that it was inside. We've just missed it there. But I think that's the right call from the umpire here. I think it was just that left foot just inside the circle.
Yeah, I don't think they complain about that too much. Happens very quickly, but his foot was definitely just inside.
And surprisingly, this is Derwent's first penalty corner of the game. And if you'd said before the game would be until the third term, until they had their first penalty corner, then I would have been very surprised. So Curtis to push out here. And that's snuck in under McCausland. Looks like it's hit his glove and just sort of snuck in. So a little bit of a strange goal there. It all seemed a little bit too easy there.
Yeah, it was almost a bit of slow motion. The push was slightly off. Mardell's had a bit of a drag flick, but it definitely wasn't. He wasn't going for power, more placement, I think.
Just in that sort of awkward height between the pad, the knee pad, and the glove for the keeper, and also the postman was in there as well. So I think Canterbury were just disappointed with that, because they're probably a little bit of a soft goal. And Derwent find themselves ahead 2-1 over Canterbury with about 5 minutes to go in this preliminary final, this third term.
Yeah, Larkin won't be happy with that one. But it just shows how important PCs are. That's 1 from 1 so far.
Larkin, sorry, not McCausland. This will change Canterbury's approach, Sam, in this third term. Now they're a goal behind again. Are they going to have to get a little bit more aggressive, or they'll trust in the game plan?
Yeah, I think they'll still trust in the game plan. They've got plenty of time left. They'll try and hassle Derwent a bit, try to put them off their game a little bit. But yeah, no need to panic just yet.
No, I think you're right. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is sort of panicking when you're down and chase that goal and even go further down. So they'll probably be waiting until that last term to see if anything needs to change. Derwent will be the interesting one to see how they play it. Back in front now, do they keep going? Their style seems to be attack at all costs, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about being in front again by a goal. Coke v Winch in the corner. Winch does well with his body. See that battle again, and the result the same, another long corner. Slight slip up. No issues caused. With a slap into the circle. Some appeals for possibly a back of the stick, but umpires cool, calm, collected. No such given.
Canterbury just in control of it here.
So Derwent sitting really deep now, just with the one-man anchor out chasing the ball. A tough running there for the veteran.
Yeah, we like to see that, that's for sure. Great little touch there.
Wow, that was very close to being a goal. Well done from McCausland. A great save and then doubled up as well. And that's a golden opportunity for Canterbury that goes begging, and a good clearance in the end from Derwent.
Yeah, it was Redmond there just with that shot from close in, and potentially he could have just dragged it to his left and then had an open goal, but he had that quick shot and McCausland was up to it.
Well, will that prove to be a pivotal moment in this preliminary final? At this stage, it's Derwent 2-1 over Canterbury. Under 5 minutes left in this third term. And McCausland with a huge save. Nearly a turnover there, but Canterbury end up with it. Redmond on the outside. Good ball into the circle. That hit for Donovan now with a shot. Oh, it's a goal! It's a goal. There's a deflection there that's gone in. Well, what a shot there from Donovan. Somehow that didn't go in, but then there was a deflection from the Canterbury player, and it was Sexton, I think, who finished it off in the end. And what a goal! Watch the replay here. Great shot. Sexton looks like he's almost blocked it from going in himself and deflected it as well, but the result's the same thing, and it's 2-all. Well,
they're the goals you love to see. That sort of ball, hit to the circle, attacker running onto it. All you need is a touch in there, and here they go again.
All of a sudden, wow, Derwent getting away there with that quick turnover. And all of a sudden, it's game on here. And Derwent just looking a little bit panicked there. Anchor just sending that one long just to give some recovery time for his defence. But wow, what a goal that was. Donovan just turned on a dime and got a great shot away, and Sexton was there just to tap it in, and McCausland was absolutely no chance there with that late touch.
And we were talking about Donovan earlier. He was playing half back in the first half, and then he's suddenly having a shot on goal. So it's great to see you can have a versatile player like that. Just cause a bit of nuisance up there, and then they've got a goal out of it.
He certainly does cause some nuisance. Cullick now, looking dangerous. Canterbury with all the momentum here in the dying minutes of this third term. And that is three-quarter time here in this men's preliminary final. 2-all, Derwent and Canterbury. Well, with 2 goals in that third term, that all of a sudden, very cagey start, Sam, and then it just came to life in that third term.
Yeah, it did. It was a bit panicky in that sort of middle stages of that quarter. And then Canterbury just found themselves on top. A couple of free hits their way, and all of a sudden they've got a goal back. So it's going to obviously come down to this last quarter, and the closer it is, the more panicky it will get towards the end.
Yeah, it's felt like a very sort of strange quarter. Both teams just feeling each other out a little bit, and then we saw a bit of a slow lob from Josh Mardell. He won't thank me for saying that, but a flick that sort of just snuck its way into the back of the net. And Derwent were up, and then all of a sudden, Canterbury from nowhere, Donovan turning in the circle, and Sexton finishing off with a touch. Drew again, 2-all. So we go into this final quarter with nothing separating these two teams and a chance to play OHA next week. It's 2-all in this preliminary final, and what a contest we're having here. This is an amazing game of twists and turns, and all of a sudden, it's 2-all. Derwent is feeling a little bit of heat. They don't want to be the team that goes out straight sets 2 in a row. Bowen with some strength though. We need to call his name a little bit in this last term if Derwent are going to be a chance. Oakford with a solid tackle. A little bit of gamesmanship from Kropowski, just perhaps going down a little bit easily, but umpire Kitchener not fooled. Mardell round to Webb, 2 of their veterans.
Yeah, I think Nathan Fitzpatrick would have just said to the boys at three-quarter time that, again, they don't need to panic. They've been in this position before. They just need to go through their process, play how they know how to play, and work the ball up and take the chances when they come.
Well, if we know anything about this Derwent team, we know they can score very, very quickly. They can pile on the goals. So 15 minutes is a long, long time in hockey. So I think you're right. Just be heard, don't panic. Trust in the game plan. Back yourselves. Certainly an exciting contest we've got here now in the sunshine, the Tasmania Hockey Centre. This stream brought to you by the Mercury and Duff TV. Of course, with partnership with Hockey Tas and Premier League. That ball goes direct into the circle. But it's going to be a Canterbury restart.
We haven't called that man Bolton's name too often today, which is surprising.
No, you're right there, Seb, but we also know with a player of Bolton's quality that he doesn't need too long to get into the game, so Canterbury will need to be really switched on in this final term. As they throw that one over the sideline with Winch over it to restart. Hasn't been the most free-flowing game of hockey we've seen so far this year, that's for certain.
No, there's been a lot of turnovers, especially unforced ones, whichever team makes it next week will go back to their video and take a lot out of that. They'll be looking to fix that up pretty promptly, as I can see my teammates down there eagerly watching and waiting to see who wins this one.
Yes, there's a few pleasures in life, such as watching two teams battle to play you in the next week while you're having the week off. Curtis over the ball, quickly auto plays, but has nothing ahead. Recycles. Vickery moving it forward. Can't quite find anyone though. Derwent just not looking like they're playing a game of hockey that's just flowing at the moment. Everything just seems a little bit of hard work for them here. Saw Winch and Vickery just not quite on the same page there. Here is Winch now.
No, I don't think I've seen more than 4 passes strung together yet from Derwent. They're trying to go in potentially a bit too early, a bit too quickly, rather than knock it down around the back and build it up.
This Canterbury team seems to be playing a really, full 11 team defence at the moment. Certainly not relying on their back 4 or back 2 to sort it out. Povsky on the far side with a turnover. Gets his head up. It's an excellent tackle there from Kiddo though. Finds Donovan with a bit of space. He looks up, nothing ahead. Earns the free though, that's important. Reset, get your structure right behind the ball. There's the overhead just out in front of McCulloch, who does well to bring it in. He does so now. Oh, big tackle from Curtis. All right, says the umpire. McCulloch just finding his way into this game.
He is, and he could be potentially the game winner. He's one of those players that, like Bolton, only needs an inch or 2 in the circle to get a shot away, and he can hit the ball very, very hard, that's for sure.
Harmon looking to go direct, does so now, and over the back line. Canterbury have to limit those sort of opportunities going forward. They want to make sure they get good purchase anytime they move forward. Winch, backwards and forwards, finding Webb. Recycles, Donovan running hard though, putting pressure on.
Canterbury pressing quite well here, forcing Winch into sending it long. And yeah, another turnover there.
McHugh all of a sudden finds him in some space. What do you made at the start of this 4th term here, Sam McCambridge?
I think it's been quite even at the moment, really, possession-wise. No real chances to score as yet. Just as Derwent come in and have earned a PC.
Penalty corner there, just looked like a little bit of feet, stick, whatever you like there in that challenge. So we're seeing a replay here. Down to Clifford. It looks like it might have just come off an Oakford foot. So it will be Derwent with the first real opportunity of this final term.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they go Mardell again, or are they back in their flicker Harry Winch. Mardell is lining up again. Can Larkin save it this time?
Oh, and it is Winch and it is wide. Well, a let off there for Canterbury when we called it in the first half with the McCulloch Canterbury penalty corner. Just feel like at this stage of the game you need to force a save from the keeper, especially with Larkin nervous after the last goal. You really need to get that on target.
Yep, 100%. Put the pressure on the defence. That's an absolute freebie for Canterbury, sending it wide of the goals, not even making the defence have to make a try.
Good physicality there from McCulloch.
He's probably lucky the Derwent player didn't go to ground then, otherwise he would be sitting on the sideline again, I think, judging by that stern whistle by Hickman.
Curtis gesturing to the umpire that perhaps a card was needed. Curtis doesn't mind putting a bit of body on himself, so interesting. McCulloch just over it, just trying to settle this down now for Canterbury. It just looked that last 90 seconds just a little bit under the pump, and there's a turnover there for Harmon. This game's just starting to open up a little bit of pressure here. Oh, it's a good tackle from McCulloch. They needed that. Redmond now needs to be composed, finds the ball. Ardell, as he does so well, cleans up. Canterbury need to find a way to just get a little bit of possession and control back here, Sam.
They do. They've been holding the ball really well, especially when you've got the likes of McCulloch and McHugh on the ball. It's just that last pass at the moment that's letting him down.
Ball anchor with some tricks on the far side. McHugh comes up with it though.
Second goal scorer Ben East with the ball here to Donovan. The old chip and chase.
It's old school, just like his haircut.
Bit too much body in there, I think, for the tackle.
Don't mind to see that from Donovan, the confidence he has in himself to take on the older Derwent defence. Well, by older, I mean Webb. Just putting him under a bit of pressure. There is Donovan. Oh. You just cannot, he's like a dog with the ball. You just cannot give him any space. Mardell just looking a little bit tired over the ball, and he'll be very thankful that he was able to escape that one.
Yeah, you could just hear as soon as Donovan was in there, their crowd got up and about, which just lifts the whole team up. So efforts like that is what they need in this last 7.5 minutes.
Again, Donovan putting the pressure on. It's composure from Redmond. Knew he had to trap that. Turnover though, not good there. Bolston's with goal so early. No, says the umpire. Chipped it too far out in front of himself. And umpire Kitchener not having any of that at all.
Yeah, I think it was the right call. Bolton just lost control of the ball, so there was nothing in that.
Interesting ball in there. It looked like Brad Kiddo almost deflected onto his own keeper's pads and then it went over the back line. So it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it. And it was defended again by Canterbury.
No, that's right. And I think the longer it stays 2-2 or even, we'll just have in their back of their minds what happened last week with the shootout. So they won't want it to go to a shootout, I don't think.
Get a good Canterbury turnover here. They just need to get some possession back. They've been a little bit unsettled in the last few minutes, so whilst they want to keep moving and moving forward, they do want to get their key ball users with the ball and just get that composure back. And they've just made 3 subs by looking at Canterbury, so they've got some fresh players on. Gutsy stuff there from Canterbury, running up the guts. There is one of those fresh players, Harmon, but he's turning it over. Polsky with a bit of space. Throws into the middle. There's a turnover they didn't need, though.
End-to-end hockey at the moment. Lucky to get away with that one, just knocking the ball away clumsily.
Yes, I don't think the umpires will be taking too much nonsense in this next 5 or 6 minutes we've got left in this last quarter. Of course, if we do end with a draw, we do go straight to one-on-ones, the shootouts. We do not have extra time. It'll be interesting to see if that is playing on Derwent's mind at all after going down in shootouts last week to OHA.
Another unforced turnover there by Derwent. Plenty of time left, no need to panic just yet.
I'll give it a couple more minutes then before I start asking you a few one-on-one questions about who the takers will be, what the keepers are like. But we will hope to still get a result in normal time here as Canterbury reshuffle. McHugh under a bit of pressure. Comes back to Harmon. Finds a narrow gap and gets it through pretty well. Palmer recycles. Aggression from Palmer. Fresh legs out there today. Redmond. It's a contested ball in the midfield.
There'll be some tired bodies out there now, that's for sure.
A few players going to ground. Need to just keep it tidy here from both teams. It almost feels, Sam, like the first team to really make a mistake here could be the one to lose it. It's a massive turnover. McCulloch striding forward. But they're outnumbered, so he's just having to hold it up a little bit here. Just raised slightly into Webb, and it's going to be a Derwent ball, but geez, McCulloch looked dangerous there striding forward, didn't he?
Yeah, you don't want him running at you, even if there's 2 or 3 defenders there. He's got a knack of being able to move them round and find that space.
Webb turns his player with ease, just puts it wide there. Derwent just looking a bit uncharacteristically panicked, a bit of lack of composure. But of course, in saying that, it is the final few minutes of a preliminary final, so the pressure is on both teams here. It's 2-2. Harmon with a nice overhead out to Rasmussen. Good tap to himself. Fitness is going to come into it here in this last few minutes. Mardell just taps that out.
Yeah, this is where those last couple of hill sprints from the week's training that'll be kicking in about now, just to get you those last few minutes through the legs.
Who do you think is the fitter side, Sam?
Looking at them now, I'd say Canterbury's just got a little edge on them. Derwent are just looking a little bit flat, a little bit rushed, as you said before. And Canterbury just putting the pressure on at the moment.
As they continue their attacks here, Derwent's defence holding up at the moment. Looks like it's going to be a Derwent ball out of defence. Winch with a cheeky overhead there. Broadby. What's he got ahead of him? Finds Bolton. A bit of space. Oh, McCarthy can't reel it in. That's a couple he's had down there today. See our goal scorer from the first quarter. Both teams looking just a little bit tired, and this is where those skills start to drop off in these final crucial minutes. Another missed overhead there from Harmon. He needs to get that right. But unlucky with the advantage there. Bowen plays on quickly. No one home though for Derwent. Rasmussen easing it out.
Back to Rogers. Great tackle there by the veteran Webb.
Webb overlapping. Keep an eye on him. At the bottom of your screen. But Derwent going back around the outside. Mardell. Broadby now. Oh, that man putting the pressure on as he always does is Donovan. It's those small acts. Rogers just with probably an unnecessary little overhead turnover. Really need to keep your head in these situations. Anchor hits it across the face. Danger has been called there, and I think fair enough. It was coming across at a pace through players. Derwent will feel aggrieved, but I think that's the right call there from umpire Kitchener.
Yeah, and was that Derwent's last chance for the game? Anchor probably didn't need to hit that straight in. He had a little bit more time on the ball than he thought.
Well, not long now. Only minutes remain here in this final quarter. It's 2-2. Redmond finds himself with the ball. One-on-one in the corner. Is there any space? Clifford helping out in defence, does a good job. Making our first time. Oh, Bolton can't make the trap. That would have been very interesting. It would have left Bolton one out with a proppy McHugh, but unfortunately just couldn't reel in that pass.
That could be Derwent's last chance there, I reckon, as time ticks down to 0.
Well, there it is. That is full time here in the preliminary final between Derwent and Canterbury. It finishes 2-2. Teams not able to get a breakthrough through in that final quarter, and that does mean, Sam McCambridge, that we are going to one-on-ones.
Yes, for the second time in 2 weeks, Derwent will have to go to the 25-yard line and try their skill and their luck with the shootout to try and get into the grand final.
Sam, who do you feel will feel like they've got the momentum coming into these one-on-ones? Obviously, it doesn't mean that much until you step up to the line, but I just feel like Canterbury might have had the edge in that last quarter. Yeah,
especially towards the end there. They just had those couple of really good chances, a couple of really good turnovers, some hard running by Donovan up there. As you can hear, the crowds getting around them and cheering them off, so they'll be very confident in what they've been practicing during the week with their one-on-ones, and Derwent will be just relying on them to try and get done what they didn't do last week.
Well, welcome back to this men's preliminary final between Canterbury and Derwent. And what you are seeing on your screen now is the game going to one-on-ones, penalty shootout. With me is Sam McCambridge. Sam, talk to me through this the one-on-ones. What's the fixture here for those that may not be familiar?
So basically, you've got 8 seconds from when the umpire blows his whistle to put the ball in the back of the net. Each team will have five goes each. Whoever has the most at the end of that 5 wins.
Too easy, and it's going to be Canterbury going first, and it's going to be Brenton Watson. He's going to be up against Magnus McCallan in goals. Calls it off his line quick. Oh, and slaps that away. Showing too much of it there, and McCausland deals with that. And Canterbury missed their first opportunity.
Yeah, he just gave McCausland far too much of a look at the ball here. As you can see, running in. Has it too far in front of him. McCausland just sweeps it straight away.
So first up for Derwent is Mardell. Mardell v Larkin. Larkin quick off his line as well. Oh, and slaps it away. It's almost an exact replay. Just showing the keepers too much of the ball there, and Larkin deals with that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's completely different to what he did last week when he scored against OHA. Last week he went in, rolled and went round to his left on his back stick, but he just gave Larkin far too much of the ball, just like the previous one, and we're still 0-0.
Final touch just a little bit too close to the keeper. It's got to be a squarer touch than that. As we have McCulloch now, very experienced player, highly skilled. Oh, doesn't have long now, and he's missed as well. So it's Canterbury none from 2 here, with Derwent a chance to take the lead.
And he'd be disappointed here. He had the roll. He could have gone round on the back stick, on his forestick rather. But just rolled straight into McCausland's stick. Still no one yet to score.
Anchor, who missed his last week. I wonder if that'll be playing on his mind. Oh, McCausland doing a good job here. There's not much time left. And the umpires are going to have a chat about this one. Of course, if they deem it being a foul from the keeper, it's either a retake or a penalty stroke. Sam, what did you make of that? Was there much in that? As we look at a replay here, hopefully we can... No, and they've called it a 16, so we'll have a look at the replay, but they haven't given that at all. So nothing wrong there from the keeper.
No, that initial tackle was fine, but then Anchor's got the ball up onto the keeper, who's then made it dangerous. So in my opinion, that should have been re-awarded, retaken.
Right. Well, controversy here in this men's preliminary final 1-on-1. The call's going to stand. Oh, and we see our first goal of the shootout. Lachlan Rogers puts that one away. All of a sudden, you wouldn't think so after 2 misses from Canterbury to start, but they are up in this penalty shootout with Derwent a chance to equalise.
Lockie just moved him very well there. He's very good with his body feints throughout open play, but when it comes to shootout, he's just using the same sort of skill and just puts it straight in.
Bolton here now, very experienced. Oh, he's going to put this one away pretty easily. Well done. Made the keeper overcommit. And Bolton equalises there. So it is 1-1 in this shootout after 3 attempts from each team. As Rogers for Canterbury finishes off, as does Bolton for Derwent.
Yep, just used his body well here. Got the keeper on one side straight in the goals.
Redmond now. Oh, and he's out of time there, and well done there. McCausland, 2 good saves. And that is another miss for Canterbury.
Yeah, he looked a bit unsure with what he was going to do there, and then 8 seconds can creep up you very quickly, and he just panicked and unfortunately couldn't get it in.
So this is going to be Ewan Vickery here for Derwent. Chance to put Derwent ahead here. Oh, and it's over the top of the second shot. And all of a sudden, both teams are only 1 goal from 4 attempts, and this is going down to the wire. If Canterbury can score this goal, it means that Derwent is going to have to score to stay in the match. It seems like tactics from the keeper, Sam, is just to keep your feet as long as you can and not overcommit.
Yep, he's got to put pressure on the attacker.
Oh, Canterbury goal! Finishing off with style and class with Rasmussen there. And all of a sudden, Bowen has to score this for Derwent to stay in the game.
Yeah, I saw Rasmussen do that in his under-18 prelim final on last Monday night. He did exactly the same thing. And why change it up if it works?
So Bowen must score here for Derwent. Missed last week. Oh, and simply done there from Bowen. Keeps them alive in this contest. Just let the keeper make the first move there. Let Larkin just move, and very calmly done there by Bowen. So this now goes to a sudden death shootout. And the players re-rotate through the original 5. So luckily for those left halves of the team, they don't have to step up and take one. It just rotates through the same 5 players. So we're going to see Mardell here for Derwent. And Mardell scores.
Yeah, he made that look a bit easier than his first attempt.
So this will mean Canterbury need to score to stay in this game. Oh, that's a great save from McCausland on the second one. It's all over here. Derwent are winners. McCausland the hero. And wow, that is 2 weeks in a row we've seen this game decided by shootouts. And on this occasion, Derwent victorious in a shootout where both teams sort of struggled to score. Well, devastation here for Canterbury, who were extremely brave today. They were in the game all day. And Derwent, they'll be feeling very, very relieved that they've managed to win this shootout and go through to a grand final.
They will be. They will be. 2 shootouts in 2 weeks. They'll be well trained at them now if it happens to happen next week. Canterbury can consider themselves unlucky, as we just watched the last one here by Lockie Rogers. You'd be disappointed in that. But yeah, great second save there by McCausland.
Well, McCausland has been the hero before for Derwent, and he certainly is today, as Derwent win on shootouts to go through to play OHA next week. Final score here 2-2, but Derwent ahead on shootouts.